Welcome to English for Academic and Professional Purposes. We are going to consider the learning skills to write various position papers. As a student, you are continuously taking sides and forming opinions on anything that involves you. However, defending your point by simply saying, "because I think so," won't help you make a case. It is therefore important that you learn how to properly outline your thoughts and make valid argument. A position paper presents the writer's stand or viewpoint on a particular issue. Writing a position paper entails outlining arguments, and proposing the course of action. By doing so, you are already taking part in a large debate. It is a more complex version of a persuasive essay. However, a position paper is not an essay, but it has various parts, just like the concept paper. It can be likened with a debate, but the presentation of the arguments is in a written form. Presenting an argument implies that you are favoring one side of the issue. The primary goal of a position paper is to declare a position on a certain matter or an issue. Its secondary goal is to convince or persuade others to take that side of an issue or matter. The activities here aim to sharpen your understanding of the concepts related to writing position paper. Enjoy working on the practice tests and the assessment. Let's now have these activities. Let's consider practice task 1. You are tasked to convince your classmates and family members that the Sinovac vaccine manufactured by China is safe and effective. Given the statements here, choose the statements that will help your position to persuade them to get vaccinated. You are going to consider the item that you think will strengthen your position that Sinovac is as efficient as others in achieving herd immunity against COVID-19. I'll just read the items or each item once. So listen carefully and your answer would be yes, or you are going to choose the item that will actually help your position to persuade them to get vaccinated. Number 1. Sinovac vaccine developed by China has been found to be 50.4% effective in Brazilian clinical trials, according to the latest results released by researchers. Number 2. Sinovac, a Beijing-based biopharmaceutical company, is behind CoronaVac, an inactivated vaccine. It works by using killed viral particles to expose the body's immune system to the virus without risking a serious response. Number 3. Results show that the vaccine is 78% effective in preventing mild cases that needed treatment and 100% effective in staving off moderate to serious cases. Number 4. On the face of it, 50% effectiveness figure isn't as good as Oxford's 70% or Pfizer and Moderna's 95%. But trials are run very differently in different countries. The number of volunteers enrolled varies wildly, as do the criteria used to test how much protection the vaccines offer. Number 5. One of Sinovac's main advantages is that it can be restored in a standard refrigerator at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, like the Oxford vaccine, which is made from genetically engineered virus that causes the common cold in chimpanzees. Now let's have this task number 2. Position paper is composed of 3 main parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Here are the principles and descriptions of a position paper. Your task is to accurately state the correct part being described with statements. You may write in your answer sheet 1 if it's part of the introduction. You may write 2 if it belongs to the body, and you may write 3 if it's for conclusion. Explain your understanding of that ideology. Discuss key underlying beliefs or political principles of economic principles. Number 1. Factual, relevant, and accurate evidence to prove your first argument. Is that an introduction, body, or conclusion? Number 2. State your position. Do you agree with the ideological perspective or not? Is that an introduction, body, or conclusion? Number 3. Summarize and restate your position in a convincing manner. Number 4. Start with a topic sentence that attracts attention and summarizes the issue. Okay? Now let's have task number 3. Given the arguments here on relevant and timely social issues, identify the position of the speaker. You can identify the speaker if the speaker is in favor or if the speaker is against. To avoid biases and prejudices, names of the speakers were not divulged since their political affiliation might give away the answer. So, let's have this direct statement and argument, okay? On drug war or the Upland Tokhang, the direct statement or the argument. Without Upland Tokhang, we could not have 1.6 million surrenders. Or we could not have 130,000 drug personalities arrested. Without Upland Tokhang, we could not have reduced the index crime volume by 49%. On anti-terror law passage, here is the direct statement or argument. No other law empowers the state to arrest its people for exercising rights guaranteed by the Constitution, based solely on a law enforcer's subjective opinion of their state of mind. On ABS-CBN shutdown, here is the direct statement. The uproar over the quo warranto brought many personalities to speak up. Hopefully, they would also consider speaking out for the many other instances wherein our freedoms are being curtailed. On legalization of divorce in the Philippines, here is the direct statement. What we really need is to improve the annulment process and make it grow poor in terms of cost and time. For inclusion of sex education in the curriculum, here is the direct statement or argument. That's why it is imperative to enable them to develop into responsible adolescents capable of making rational decisions based on adequate information and better understanding of reproductive health. Now, let's take this assessment. From the main ages enumerated in Task 3, select one that is closest to your heart. You are going to compose a position paper as to whether you are in the affirmative or favor, whether you are favor or in the affirmative side, or in the negative side, or you are against because you are against. Support your claim by citing data from available resources. Make sure to include the three main parts: the introduction, body, and conclusion. You'll be assessed based on the rubrics given below. Here are the following rubrics for scoring. With regards to content, here are the descriptors, content, Okay, 3.5 points for the content with these indicators. Paper clearly states the position of the writer. Opening statement captures the reader's interest. Arguments reflect higher level of thought. There are sufficient pieces of evidence to support the claim. Conclusion presents feasible course of action. Those are the indicators under the content with 3.5 points. Under organization, with regards to points, there are 2.5 points here. Here are the indicators. Cohesive devices are effectively used. Then ideas are correctly placed, which improves the paper's organization. And flow of ideas is smooth and easy to read. Those are under organization. Then style with 2 points. Paper showcases the writer's voice. Paper uses variety of sentence structures. Paper eliminates sexist language. Paper uses language appropriate to text. Paper eliminates wordiness. So those are under style with 2 points. While grammar and mechanics, 1 point. Here are the indicators. Grammar is accurate. Spelling, capitalization, and punctuation are correctly used. Word choice is appropriate. Sentences are well structured. Those are under grammar and mechanics. For documentation and sources, another 1 point. Here are the indicators. Paper uses citation and reference format. Sources are reliable and sources used are relevant to the public. By the way, the scoring or the rating scale 2, 3, 4, and 5, where 5 is verbally interpreted to a very great extent, 4 to a great extent, 3 to some extent, and 2 to a little extent. Good luck and God bless for achieving a correct answer to these activities. God bless, and to God be all the glory.